Welcome to Liberty Park in Sioux Falls, South Dakota for the Week 12 Game of the Week between the Sioux Falls Sparrows and the Vancouver Legion. Good evening, everybody. I am Mike Daggs. Alongside me in the booth is the Hall of Famer, Matt Wilson. With us tonight, tracking the live game stats, is the infamous Gerald Smith. You are watching the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports. And for the fans, Matt, how's it going tonight?
Great. Happy to be here.
Huge playoff implications on the line tonight, Matt. Vancouver, they won their first 6 games of the season, but they lost their last 2, and now they're fighting to hang on to that number 2 seed and a ticket past the wild card and quarterfinals straight to hosting a game in the semifinals. A win tonight secures that number 2 spot. A loss would knock them all the way down to number 4 or 5 and possibly starting the playoffs on the road. For Sioux Falls, a win tonight gets them as high as the number 3 seed and guarantees them a home playoff game. A loss, and they risk falling all the way down to number 8 and hosting a wild card game. There's a lot on the line. Who comes out on top tonight, Matt?
Yeah, for me, it starts and ends with the running game. With all the stats taken into account, Suda Nakai of Vancouver and Colin Hunt of Sioux Falls maybe the 2 best running backs in the league. It's up to each defense to step up and stop these 2 major threats. Nakai is a speedster, so the Sioux Falls defense needs to keep cap discipline to prevent the big play. Hart is more of a battering ram, so proper wrap-up tackling will be the key for the Legion. Whichever back is more productive will likely lead their team to victory. Who will come out on top? There's only one way to find out, and that's on the field.
All right, Matt, well, let's head down to the field and get this one started. Sammy Steele has the ball teed up. We'll kick it off to A.J. Levy of the Sioux Falls Sparrows. Levy takes it at his own 5, returns it straight up the gut, spins his way up to the 28-yard line where the offense will get started for Sioux Falls. Quarterback Julian Tyree leading the offense out onto the field. Matt, you talked about these running backs. Expecting to see a big ground game tonight?
I mean, yeah, based on everything we've looked at over the week, these 2 are pretty much the heartbeats of their offense, and then they start out in the shotgun, so, you know.
So we'll see what happens. Tyree in the gun, split backs in the backfield, and Tyree will pass to get things started. Pass is complete, straight over the middle. Give us an opportunity to look at the impact players here on the Sioux Falls offense. We mentioned quarterback Julian Tyree in his 9th season. Running backs Colin Hart and Jalen Wells. The wide receivers A.J. Warren, Gunnar Lewis, and L. Dillapre Sr. The tight end Noe Terrazas. The kicker Maxwell Falk. A little bit more of a running formation here on 1st and 10 from their own 39-yard line. Ball is handed off to Colin Hart, and he gains only a couple. Gets his way up to the 41-yard line. Here are the impact players for Vancouver. Mark Lopez in his 4th season at free safety. The defensive linemen Kevin Brackett and Lee Adama. Linebackers are Brian Craven and Doug Day. Corners, Kyler Murray and Dean Maddox. The safeties, Ashley Rose Finch and Lincoln Kingseed Sr. Ball is checked down to Colin Hart. He's going to get another first down all the way up to midfield. Fresh set of downs for the Sparrows.
It's another good way to use your back, throwing the ball in the flats and see what they can do. And with a guy like Hart, he can certainly do a lot, as he's shown this season.
2 of the most dynamic running backs in the league being both featured here tonight. 3 receivers sat here on first down. Tyree will hand the ball off to Hart again. Runs off tackle to the right. Slips past the first tackler. Gets wrapped up and brought down at the 43-yard line. 2nd down and 2.
That was not some good form tackling on that one from Vancouver. But, you know, they'll let Hart get going, or he can really take over this game. Just punishing defenders.
Lincoln Kingseed Sr. there, week 2 signing, has 6 interceptions on the season for the Legion defense. Offset eye on 2nd down. Hart takes the handoff, runs off tackle to the left this time, tries to lower his shoulder and truck through Kyler Murray. Can't quite do it. Will bring up a 3rd down and 1.
Good job by Murray there. Met him at the point of attack and drove Hart back, but are they going to be able to do it, this Vancouver defense, on this 3rd and 1?
Offset eye again on 3rd down. Hart takes the handoff, gets the first down, and a little bit more all the way up to the 39-yard line. Another first down on the drive.
And that's just smart running by Hart. He found his hole, hit it through, didn't get too much more, but just got exactly what he needed. Don't try to be too fancy on 3rd and 1. Just get the first down.
Back to the 3 wide receiver set. Tyree to throw. Short pass over the middle. That one is caught. Hauled in for a 5-yard gain by Gunnar Lewis.
Yeah, Sioux Falls over the years kind of employed this kind of swing pass, short pass, West Coast kind of passing offense along with an effective run game. And so far, it's working very well for them.
You know, Julian Tyree, Matt, he's actually dead last in passing yards this season amongst quarterbacks in the league. Interesting for the all-time leader in passing yards in league history to be last in really any category, but he is last this season. No gain on that play for Hart.
That might have been to Wells on the fullback handoff. I wasn't sure there, but either way, they're gonna have to go a little deeper. And yeah, they brought just the formation for that.
Tyree back to throw, fires down the left sideline, and that one is incomplete. Intended target was Gunnar Lewis. Coverage on the play by Kyler Murray.
Will they bring out the field goal unit? They might try. This is a fairly long kick. What, about 52 yards?
Yeah, it would be as long on the season by far. So far, as long is only 40 yards. Kind of low amongst the kickers in the league, but well, they're going to try for his season long right here. He made a 40-yarder back in week 7. He did miss one in week 8, 13 of 14 on the season. This one from 52.
Trying to get some help from
Matt. Trying to get some help from Matt in the booth, blowing on the ball. Kick is on its way, and it made it through. Wow, I thought it had just fallen short. 52 yards. Good thing you were helping, Matt.
Every breath matters. Hashtag.
Wow. That one barely squeaked across the crossbar there. Wow. I don't even think that hit the net.
Thinking like the Titanic, but you know what? Unlike the Titanic, it survived.
It survived. It made it through. 3 points on the board for the Sparrows on their opening drive.
Yep, good. Always good to get some points on the board. Now we'll see how the Sioux Falls defense is going to stack up against this Vancouver rushing attack.
Ball is taken out of the end zone. Returned up to the 23-yard line by Mark Lopez. This is where Tom Pepper will lead his offense out onto the field along with star running back Pseudo Nakai in the backfield.
Nakai, a very small back, so... And boy, both teams just making me look foolish coming out in passing formations.
Yeah, Nakai nowhere to be seen on this one.
He's so small I can't see him.
Pepper in the gun. Short pass over the middle is complete.
Oh!
Good for a gain of 6. Here are the impact players on the Vancouver Legion offense. Quarterback Tom Pepper in his 6th season. Running back Pseudo Nakai. Receivers Brett Killian, Heath McDaniel Jr., and Rich Pratchard. The tight end Craig Hearn, and your starting tackles Rylan Caudill and Bobo Caudill.
It's going to be interesting because Sioux Falls has 2 highly paid defensive ends, so are those tackles going to be able to hold? We'll have to find out.
Pepper back to throw on 2nd down. Swing route to Nakai with room to run. Man, he is fast. Matt gets up to the 41-yard line. Fresh set of downs for the Legion.
Yeah, just these offenses are kind of mirror image of each other. First we get the short pass, and then we get a screen to Nakai. But Nakai just gets to top speed in no time. Tried to spin, couldn't quite make it there, but still a great gain for Vancouver on that 2nd down.
Offset I formation, 3 receiver set. Pepper under center, hands the ball off to Nakai. Great block, able to spring him for a gain of 3. Bring up a 2nd down and 7.
Yeah, but there's that containment of Vancouver I was talking about. There was a guy right in position to tackle Nakai for only a 3-yard gain. If he hadn't been there, he might have been gone for another 15 or more. Stay in your gaps.
From the 44-yard line, Pepper back to pass. Checks it down to Nakai again. Tries to spin past the tackler. Can't get it. Alex Parker with the tackle. Impact players on the Sioux Falls defense. 9 seasons in is strong safety A.J. Levy. He's joined by rookies at the defensive end possession, James Kelly and Jonathan Camp. The linebackers, Alex Parker, Jose Fuentes, and Nick Fargo. The corners, John Barnhart, Terrell Davis, and the other safety, Jay Ringgold. On that 3rd down and 4, Nakai is stuffed for a 1-yard loss on the play, brought down by Fuentes. 4th down and 5, and Vancouver's opening drive will come to a stall.
And that's a big advantage for the Sioux Falls defense, having those 3 key linebackers. Not a lot of teams, I don't know if any field a linebacking core that strong. So Nakai's going to have to watch out for those 3.
Levy back to field this punt. One of the few people in the league that has a punt return for a touchdown this season. And he breaks through the first tackler there, almost breaks through the second, gets up to the 21-yard line. So it wasn't a return for a touchdown, but his team will have possession of the ball on the other side of the break. You're watching the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports and For the Fans. Three 0 the Sparrows lead over the Legion in the first quarter. Sparrows in possession of the ball. Split backs in the backfield to get this drive started. Tyree back to pass. Throws it to his left-hand side. That one is caught. Hauled in by the fullback Jalen Wells for a gain of 1. And Matt, the last time these teams met was over a year ago, and it was in Vancouver. That time the Sparrows were able to pull out the win 28-20, and the series is split 2-2 between these two teams. They've met, a total of 4 times, obviously, and the away team, Matt, has won 3 out of those 4 matchups. Very unusual.
You don't see that very often, yeah.
2nd down and 9. Ball is handed off to Hart. And that was Jalen Wells with the carry. He gains 2 up the middle. It'll be a 3rd down and a long 7 to go.
Yeah, those sneaky fullbacks, they fool you every time.
Doug Day directing the defense for the Legion. Middle linebacker. Tyree back to throw. Deep right corner route. He's got his target. A.J. Warren down the right sideline. 20-10-5. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, Sparrows.
Oh, they took a play out of the old Tallahassee playbook. The deep corner route out of the 5 wide, and it was so open. I mean, look at this. Corner tries to make a jumping play at the last minute, but as soon as the ball was caught, it was see you later. A.J. Warren could have pretty much waved everybody into the end zone.
Beautiful deep arcing pass by Tyree, and a great catch by Warren, turning on the afterburners after he caught that one. 4th touchdown on the season for Warren. He came into the game with 3 and over 500 yards.
Commentator curse there, Mike. You were bombing on Tyree, and look what he does.
He says, I don't have many yards. Watch this. Extra point is up and through, and the hometown Sparrows take a 10-0 early lead here over the Vancouver Legion.
Just remember the Optimus Klein game. Called him out. He had a career day.
I think that was when they were still Alaska. That was last season, right? Or maybe the one before that.
One before that, yeah, when they were...
Optimus Klein of the formerly Alaska Storm. I think wasn't it in the 3rd quarter we brought that up, and we're like, where has Optimus been? Then all of a sudden he's the leading receiver on the day. Like, I guess he's there. Mark Lopez takes it from his own 2-yard line, returns his way up to past the 30, gives his team good starting field position from the 31-yard line. Huge playoff implications on the line tonight, Matt, as we talked about. Vancouver currently sitting in that number 2 seed spot. Number 1 and number 2 seed, Matt, it's huge in the Simulation Football League. You get a ticket straight to the semifinal game. If you win that game, you're in the championship, and the quarterfinal. And Vancouver in that number 2 spot right now. Flag on this play.
Hello.
What the flag was. Matt, did you see somebody jump?
Offsides. Yeah, they jumped early. Fortunately, Vancouver couldn't take advantage of it.
Neutral zone infraction, number 96, defense, 12-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
It is indeed an offsides on Jonathan Camp. Second-round pick this past offseason. He has 5.5 sacks on the season so far. Sometimes those ends like to get a little bit jumpy trying to get to that quarterback.
Unfortunately, he was camping on Vancouver's side of the line. Try not to do that next time.
First down and 5 now from their own 36-yard line. Offset I formation. Nakai takes the handoff, running to the left, breaks through 1 tackle, breaks through 2. Can he break through 3? He cannot. Gets up to the 46-yard line before he is finally brought down after a nice gain.
Little guy showing a little bit of power there, breaking some tackles. That's talked about good form tackling from Vancouver, but Sioux Falls looked a little suspect on that one. Can't let the quick Nakai escape like that. Get your hands on him. You got to drag him to the ground.
First down and 10 from the Sioux Falls 46-yard line. Pepper to throw. Gets it to Nakai. Sidesteps a defender and gets a gain of 5. We'll bring up a second down and 5. So, Matt, Vancouver in that number 2 seed, they want to hold on to that one. How can they do it? They need to win. If they win the game tonight, they will have the number 2 seed. They will skip right past the wild card round, and they will host the worst remaining team from the wild card.
I wonder whether that would be.
Pepper throwing a deep corner out himself, and that one is picked off, intercepted by the Sparrows defense, hauled in by John Barnhart, his 7th pick on the season, and that will give the Sparrows the ball at their own 28.
Well, they say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. They kind of went for not quite the same, but kind of a post route similar to what Sioux Falls ran, and boy, that was a disaster.
We'll see if Sioux Falls can get some points off this turnover on the other side of this break. You're watching the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports and For the Fans. First down and 10 from the 28-yard line, and that play is stuffed right at the line. Hart with no gain. Matt, these two running backs running up the score. 17 touchdowns and 16 touchdowns, respectively, between Nakai and Hart, and 7.1 yards per carry and 6.5 yards per carry. They are number 1 and number 2 in the league in both of those categories.
That's why I'm saying statistically, they may be the 2 best backs in the league.
Look at this run by Hart as he scoots his way all the way up to the 41-yard line. Big gain on that play of 13 yards.
And this time, Hart had some sweet blocking there. Good job by the O-lineman there, and he didn't get touched until he's about 11 yards down the field. Now I'm just waiting for Hart to lower the boom and break that tackle. It's going to come one of these carries.
Offset I formation here on first down. Ball is handed off to the fullback, stuffed in the backfield for a 1-yard loss by Jalen Wells. So what happens if Vancouver doesn't win tonight's game, Matt, and they Will they not get the number 2 spot? No, they won't. If they lose, they will fall to either number 4 or 5 on the playoff seeding. If they lose, then it'll depend on what happens in the game immediately following ours. If Jacksonville wins, then Vancouver will host Jacksonville in the playoffs. Nice deep catch. That one up to the 46-yard line. We'll move the chains, get a fresh set of downs. We'll talk a little bit more about the playoffs and the seeding possibilities once we get the second quarter started.
Loaded that one up. I was holding my breath. Usually those can be somewhat disastrous, but nice throw and catch.
Sioux Falls with the lead and the possession of the ball. They are on the move. 10-0 Sparrows over the Legion after the first quarter of play. You're watching the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports for the fans. It was. I know. It was at about 2, I think. Yeah, because as I was talking about what was going to happen if Vancouver lost, I looked at the clock and saw there was only 5 seconds. I'm like, oh, shit, not really the best time to get into all that, but.
Yeah, Vancouver is looking not so good so far, but we'll see.
Check Discord, Cam. And welcome back to Liberty Park in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Week 12 game of the week. I'm Mike Daggs in the booth with Matt Wilson, Gerald Smith with us on stats. 10-0 after the first quarter. The Sparrows in the lead over the Legion. Tyree back to pass to get the second quarter started. Tipped and picked off, intercepted by Vancouver, returning it back all the way up to the 46-yard line. Just like that, Matt, Vancouver is back in it.
Yes, great coverage. They're off the tip, man. Gotta love those picks, Mr. Kingseed. Man, that name sounds familiar. Didn't he have a great game the last time we broadcast the Vancouver game? I know he saved a couple touchdowns.
Did indeed. He was a week 2 signing, and he's got 6 picks on the season so far. Second on the team, tied with Dean Maddox, who also has 6, just behind Mark Lopez with 8. Pepper swings it down to Nakai. Nothing on that one. Second down and 10. So I was talking right at the end of the first quarter, what'll happen if Vancouver loses this game? So Vancouver loses, and then Jacksonville wins next. Then Vancouver will play. They will fall to number 4. They will play host to Jacksonville in the playoffs. If Vancouver loses and Denver wins the next game, then they'll fall to number 5, and they will hit the road. You guessed it, right back here, Matt, to Sioux Falls. It'll be a rematch. So if Vancouver loses tonight and then Denver wins, this game will basically start right back over and be a playoff game.
I know what he wants to see that. I'm not biased at all.
All sorts of playoff scenarios to go through throughout the evening tonight. 3rd down and 10 for Vancouver. Pepper in the gun, low snap, steps up into the pocket and connects with his receiver over the middle. That's Heath McDaniel Jr. with the reception. 1st down and 10 from the 41-yard line.
Yeah, great job by Pepper to extend the drive. You don't want to waste good field position on a pick and just right down the middle of the field. Sometimes those passes are a little iffy, but found the window and delivered it right on time.
3 receivers set on 1st down. Pepper in the gun. Deep corner out to the right-hand side, and that one is picked off. A.J. Levy with the interception. That is 45 interceptions on A.J. Levy's career, Matt.
Yeah, Vancouver might want to delete that one out of the playbook. That was the same one that got picked off last time. That corner route from the inside receiver position. And Sioux Falls must have seen something because they're just reading it like a book. And I don't know, it's like taking candy from a baby or a guy in a wheelchair. Same thing.
Tyree under center. Ball is handed off straight up the middle for a short gain of 2. So getting back into that playoff seeding, Matt, Sioux Falls, what can happen to them? We've talked a lot about Vancouver so far, but what'll happen to Sioux Falls if they win or lose? Well, Matt, Sioux Falls can be as high as the number 3 seed, or they can fall all the way down to the number 8 seed and find themselves in the wild card round.
Nobody wants to be in the wild card.
Handoff up the middle to Jalen Wells. So there you see teams 7 through 11 right there, and then the tiebreaker scenarios. So what can happen to Sioux Falls? If they win and then Jacksonville wins, they'll be number 3 and they'll host Charleston. If they win and Denver wins, then like we talked about, they'll play host to Vancouver. If Sioux Falls loses, they can fall down to number 6 with a Denver win. They'll hit the road to Baltimore. And if they lose and Jacksonville wins, they'll fall all the way to number 8, and they will play host to the St. Louis Gladiators in the wild card round. St. Louis making it to the playoffs for the first time in franchise history. Congratulations to our friend and broadcast partner, Gerald Smith, for helping get his team to the postseason for that first time in franchise history. 4th down and 4. The Sparrows will have to punt it away, not able to capitalize off that turnover. Punt is taken up to the 37-yard line, where Vancouver will get another shot at it after a couple of turnovers on their first couple of possessions.
Well, the Sioux Falls defense has definitely had the clamps on the Vancouver offense. Never like to see a goose egg, pretty much midway through the second quarter of the game. So they need to just get 3, get it down to 1-score game. Still early. Oh no.
We're going back to that same play, Matt, and it worked that time. Not by a lot though. Hauled in by Heath McDaniel Jr. Gets it up to the 49-yard line. That was dangerous.
I try to stay away from the oh-no's these days since I kept saying it all last season. But now I saw that. That's an oh-no Matt Wilson special right there.
People love the oh-no. They love it.
They run the same play they did twice before that led into a pick, and it was almost another pick. So, man, are they going to continue to live dangerously? So one way to find out.
And that's watching this next play.
Yes, exactly.
Pepper making a nice safe throw down to Nakai. Nakai using that speed to get up past the 36-yard line, and a fresh set of downs for the Legion.
I think that's a smarter, series of plays by Vancouver, getting Nakai involved more, because as you can see there, he gets up to top speed in no time. He usually gets 4 or 5 yards on those swing passes. It's much higher percentage play than trying to throw that deep out that just keeps, it's a 50-50 situation at best for Pepper.
Pepper back to throw. Gets it to Nakai again. Nakai only able to gain 2 that time. Gets up to the 34-yard line. I see some people in the chat, Matt, at twitch.tv/FTF next. They're talking about, well, if Vancouver doesn't make it to number 2, who gets it? So what are the alternatives there? Well, there's 2 other teams that have a shot at the number 2 seed, and that is Baltimore and Charleston. We'll talk about how they can do it after this play. Pepper, out route. That one is complete.
Ooh,
Caught
almost.
by Brett Killian up to the 27-yard line. It'll be a 3rd down and 1. So how can Baltimore get the number 2 seed? Well, if Sioux Falls wins tonight, and then in this game following ours, Jacksonville wins, then Baltimore will be the number 2 seed. If Sioux Falls wins tonight, but then Denver wins, then Charleston will get that number 2 seed. So 3 teams vying for number 2, and it all depends on this game and the next one. Nakai will get that 1st down and a little bit more as he spins his way up to the 25-yard line. Brought down, 1st down and 10 from the 25. 6 minutes to go in the first half.
And Mike, if you weren't so long-winded, I could have been Romo on that play. I was going to say I'd like to see him throw a screen there, as likely Sioux Falls will be on the line, but I didn't get the chance. Good play by Vancouver either way.
Pepper under pressure gets it to Nakai once again. Nakai able to gain 2. And Matt, I'll stop talking so you can say something.
That's all right. I'm used to it.
Now, what is that supposed to mean?
It's all right. The playoffs are very important in the SFL. And
Trying to explain some playoff scenarios, and
yeah, I know.
you're getting all offended. Trips formation to the bottom of the screen. Pepper under center on 2nd down. Pepper under pressure.
Oh, no.
He breaks the 1st sack and then throws it away before he gets hit the 2nd time. Pressure being put on by Cam Frosby, the defensive tackle who signed just last week in Week 11.
Good job by Pepper. As soon as I saw him break that 1st sack, I'm just like, get rid of the ball any way you can, because that would have been a crippling loss. 3rd and 8 is much more reasonable than 3rd and 14, 3rd and 13. So that.
5 wide on 3rd down and 8. Pepper in the gun. Pepper out route to the bottom, and that one is complete to Brett Killian, the franchise leader in receptions, receiving yards, receiving touchdowns, but he can't quite get there to move the chains on this one. We'll bring up a 4th down and 1. Field goal unit will come onto the field.
Well, I said just get 3, and 3 is better than what they've been doing. It's 3 times the points.
Well, Vancouver keeping their offense out there for now. Some shenanigans by Andy Hamilton, or will they actually go for it?
Screen at the top would be nice.
Looks like they are going to just burn a timeout, trying to get the Sioux Falls defense to jump, and they can't do it. Timeout taken by the Legion.
Well, again, it's the first half. Timeouts don't really matter too much. At least not nearly as much
Not at this point.
as the second half. That's when I have a problem with it. Especially when you call a timeout with 8 seconds to go. And you're trying to get him to jump off sides. That really grinds my gears.
For those of you who are watching for the first time, what are you watching? The Simulation Football League is the first controllerless esport, allowing you, the viewer, to participate in all the action on the field without a controller in your hands. You can visit simulation.football for details on how to get started with a team and in the league. 33-yard field goal try from the left hash. Sammy Steele to kick. Kick is on its way, and the Vancouver Legion put the first points on the board for their squad here tonight.
1-score game. It'll be fun after the break. See if Sioux Falls can respond.
We will indeed. Stay with us. You're watching the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports and For the Fans. We'll be back after this. And welcome back, Matt. Points on the board for the Legion now. Like you said, it's a one-score ball game, so mounting the comeback already, you think?
A little early to say, but at least they broke the 0. So, we'll see if the offense continues to at least get points, or that was just a blip on the radar.
Well, the O had to go, as you like to say, so it is gone now.
I've seen an O before. It's not pretty.
Colin Hart in the backfield for the Sparrows. Offset I formation on 1st down and 10. 4:26 to go in the first half. Hart takes the handoff, runs backwards a little bit, trying to make something out of nothing, and he can't do it. 2-yard loss on the play.
Someone needs to tell Hart he's a power back, not a finesse back. He doesn't have the wheels.
Matt, look at these top 5 running backs. You talked about how Pseudo Nakai and Colin Hart, in your mind, are kind of 1 and 2 in the league. Zach Sandlin actually leading the way with yards. But why is it that you think Nakai and Hart are really the top 2?
Average and touchdowns. That's it. Every time you get the ball, who's going to make the biggest play and who's going to most likely to score?
Yeah, both of these running backs averaging darn near a first down every time they touch it. And deep pass down the left sideline. He's going to go. Gunnar Lewis all the way to the house. 70-yard touchdown, Sioux Falls.
Doing the patented Sparrow dance
to boot. Is that what that was? The patented Sparrow dance?
It's like the chicken dance, except, well, there's not chickens.
It's a Sparrow dance, though.
Yeah. Sparrow dance. Come on. Look at that beautiful throw by Tyree. Gets behind the defense, and then that's gone. Gunnar Lewis, no one's going to catch him.
2 touchdowns for the Sparrows on 2 deep passes.
So if you're playing bad, you want to get on Mike's crap list, because then you'll play really well during the game.
It's not it wasn't a shot at Tyree. I was just commenting how he had the least passing yards in the league this season, which was ironic, seeing as he's the all-time leader in passing yards in the league.
Well, one man's trash is another man's treasure.
You're putting words in my mouth. 17-3, the Sparrows answer Vancouver's 3-point score with a 7-point score of their own, now a 2-score ball game. We'll kick it back off to Tom Pepper and company. Mark Lopez back to receive. And Matt, big opportunity here for Vancouver. 3 minutes, 47 seconds to go in the first half. If they can march their way down the field and punch it into the end zone, they will get the ball back to start the second half.
Yeah, I think Vancouver now really should try to respond with 7. I mean, any points, because giving Sioux Falls the ball back when you're down 17-3, not a good situation. So just run. You got 2 or 3:46. Run your normal offense for now and see what you get. Get Nakai involved.
Power I formation, and Nakai will get involved with a swing route out of the backfield.
No.
That one wrapped up by Nick Fargo and tackled after a 3-yard gain. Matt, fun facts from Gerald Smith, our stat man, our beloved stat man, I should say. Pseudo Nakai has touched the ball 50% of the time for Vancouver. 23, now 24 total plays on offense, and Nakai has touched the ball 12 times. So very heavily involved in this offense, both in the run game and the pass game.
I mean, if you're going to win, that's probably the way.
Brett Killian getting involved that time. His 3rd reception, good for a first down up to the 34-yard line.
I mean, just think about the passes that haven't gone to Nakai, what's gone on. Well, a lot of them have been turnovers.
Yes, indeed. Pepper with 2 picks already on the night. 15-19 for 100 yards. He has completed 79% of his passes. I mean, he's only missed 4 of them, and 2 of those were picks. Pepper trying to hit that corner route again, and there it is yet again. This time being returned up past the 30, inside the 20, and tackled down at the 12-yard line. The 3rd interception for Pepper. This time taken away by Terrell Davis.
TD, as they call him, playing man coverage to perfection. And the second no of the game, someone's going to have to keep track of those. Man, I've got to bust him back out, because that is an ugly play from Vancouver.
6 interceptions now on the season for Terrell Davis, tying himself with John Barnhart, who came into the night with 6 on the season. Davis had 1 last week as well. Davis had 1, Levy had 1, and Barnhart had 2 last week in the loss versus Jacksonville. That one taken up the middle.
Is that
Jalen
Wells?
Yep, Jalen Wells with a good burst, gain of 6.
I like that call. Well, especially with the gain that Wells had, because now Hart has got to be super refreshed. I would give him the ball here, see if he can, because they don't need to score to get the first down, just get the 4 yards. And
Well, it will be a pass
ooh,
to Hart. Hart to the 2.
Ah.
Gets the first down, but tackled. Fresh set of downs from the 2-yard line.
Look at that Devin King with the tackle there, but
That'll bring us to the 2-minute warning. Find out if the Sparrows can punch it in on the other side of this break. You're watching the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports and For the Fans. And welcome back. Offset I formation on first down and goal from the 2. Tyree under center.
love a screen pass here to the top.
Tyree to Hart. Hart
Yeah.
can't get there. Can't gain anything. Second down and goal from the 2.
I hate that play in 2 ways. One, you're just compacting the D because you're running out of a power I, and then you run off tackle, not straight at the gut. So just if you're going to do it, hit it quick. And now perhaps Sioux Falls is going to try a different strategy.
Trips formation. 4 receivers on the field. Tyree will throw. Under pressure.
God.
Down he goes. Sacked back at the 7-yard line. A loss of 5 on the play. Kevin Brackett with his 12th sack on the season.
Why would you pass the ball there? You got 2 backs. Give it to,
I know.
Give it to the
You
other
got
one.
Right. You got Colin Hart and Jalen Wells. If Hart's getting a little tired, hand it off to Wells. He's averaging 3.3 per carry on the season. They only had 2 yards to go. Now 5 wide on the field for third down and goal. Tyree, short pass over the middle, going to get back to where they started, actually a yard shy. Sioux Falls is going to burn a timeout.
Why?
That's why I got a little confused there at first, Matt. I don't know.
I mean, does the kicker need some time to, get a massage or something? I don't know.
I'm not
Does it
quite sure.
Work out the kinks, take a few practice swings.
Yeah, I don't know. 59 seconds to go in the half, and a free timeout for Vancouver there is let's stop the clock. High snap, kick is on its way and good from 19 yards out. Falk now, 15 of 16 on the season. 20-3. Sioux Falls with the lead.
It's a big win for the Vancouver defense, stopping them.
Yeah, first down and goal from the 2. It's a rare day to not get into the end zone.
Mystifying second down call just totally messed up the Sioux Falls drive, but Vancouver has to play this aggressive.
Another touchback as Lopez takes a knee.
Just don't run the corner route to the inside receiver. Please.
Yeah, Pepper needs to be a little bit.
If Hamilton calls it, crumple up and throw it in the trash and stomp on it. Burn it
maybe
on fire.
stomp on it before throwing it in the trash. But
Well, you can stomp it, flat in the trash too. I don't care.
empty backfield for the Legion. On first down, Pepper looking deep corner route to the left-hand side, and that one is incomplete. Pass was broken up, intended for Brett Killian.
Making me nervous with these corner routes.
I know. I see the ball in the air, and I hold my breath. But then I remember I can't because, we're calling the game. So
Yeah. I can, but uh-oh.
And maybe we'll see Nakai on this one as we have a power running formation out on the field. And Nakai's still out of the backfield on the swing route. That's been successful for them tonight. Gain of 6 this time will bring up a 3rd down and 4. Barnhart with the tackle.
Interesting situation. Now, does Sioux Falls use a timeout if Vancouver doesn't get a first down here? I would, but depends on what the coaching staff is thinking.
Nakai on the sidelines for 3rd down and 4. 4 wide receivers and a tight end on the field for the Legion. Pepper back to throw, fires over the middle into traffic, and that one is caught up to the 44-yard line. 1st down and 10 for the Legion. Heath McDaniel Jr. with the catch. Under 30 seconds to go. Pepper throwing for the corner route again. No. I don't know how that wasn't picked. I thought it was, but that one's actually caught. Terrell Davis in on the coverage, and Rich Pratchard finally getting involved in the receiving game.
Yeah, the oh-no's have gone from DEFCON 5 to DEFCON 3. Oh, man.
Wow.
DEFCON 1 is not where you want to be, folks. Let me tell you.
Well, that was terrifying. Tom Pepper's stats there on the screen, 146 yards and 3 picks. Looking to get a touchdown added to that stat line. 4 wide receivers back out onto the field for the Legion. Pepper to throw, going deep over the middle again. Has his target wide open. That one's complete up to the 12-yard line. And Vancouver will burn their final timeout of the first half. Rich Pratchard with the catch.
Puzzling defense from Sioux Falls. They're in a 4-3 and middle field wide open. Levy saves the touchdown. And now you have no timeouts. I think you can take a shot. One shot, and then you have to bring out the kicker.
Yeah, teams in the SFL seem to sometimes be a little over conservative, though, Matt. And field goal unit already on the field. Hamilton electing to just guarantee some points here, perhaps, as this one's from 28. Should be a chip shot.
Maybe he's just afraid of the pick. I don't blame him there.
And that one is up and good. Vancouver adds 3 more points onto the board, bringing it back to a 2-score ball game.
Well, hey, they got the 3 points back they gave up Sioux Falls just about a minute and a half before. So I'd call that a victory because of the interesting timeout call by Sioux Falls.
Yeah, Sioux Falls calling a timeout with 59 seconds to go when all they were going to do is kick a field goal. Kick is away to A.J. Levy. He is a dynamic return man. From the 10, getting up past the 30, and all the way up to the 35-yard line, 12 seconds to go. And, Matt, I would expect to see just a handoff to Colin Hart, see if he can make something happen, and if not, carry us into the half.
Oh, I'd love to see Sioux Falls run their corner route that's scored 3 times or 2 times so far.
2 times, yeah. Well, there's Gunnar Lewis, benefactor of one of those corner route touchdowns.
Looks like you're right.
The offset I formation here. And Colin Hart does indeed take the handoff, and he's tackled for a loss. That will be the final play of the first half of action. So after 2 quarters of play, Vancouver 6, Sioux Falls 20, and that will be the score leading us into halftime. And Matt, talk about the playoff scenarios again for those who may have missed it earlier on. So Vancouver currently sitting in the number 2 seed. They need to win to maintain that number 2 seed. If they lose, then the game immediately following this one will decide their fate. If they lose and then Jacksonville wins next, then Vancouver falls to number 4 and they will play host to Jacksonville in the playoffs. If they lose this game and Denver wins, then they will hit the road right back here to Sioux Falls. So I guess they may as well just stay in town since, they're already here. For Sioux Falls, if they win the game, then it depends. Everything really depends on what happens in the next game for Sioux Falls. So Sioux Falls wins tonight, and then Jacksonville wins. Sioux Falls will be number 3. They'll play host to Charleston. Sioux Falls wins, and then Denver wins. They'll fall to number 4. And like we talked about, they'll play host to Vancouver. If Sioux Falls loses this one and Vancouver locks up that number 2 seed, so Sioux Falls loses and Denver wins, Sioux Falls will fall to number 6. They'll hit the road. They'll head to Baltimore. And if they lose and Jacksonville wins next, they'll fall to number 8. And they'll play host to the St. Louis Gladiators in the playoffs for the first time in franchise history. Who else can get that number 2 seed? So if Sioux Falls wins tonight and Vancouver does not get it, then Jacksonville will get it with a win. Excuse me, Baltimore will get it with a Jacksonville win. Correction there. Baltimore will get the number 2 seed if Jacksonville wins the next game. Charleston can get it if Sioux Falls wins right now and Denver wins the game following this one. 3 other teams looking at the results of tonight's game with big, wide open eyes. Jacksonville, they're looking for Vancouver to win. And then if Jacksonville wins, they will get the number 3 seed. So a lot of interesting things that can happen that we can talk about later on in the second half. Matt, your thoughts on the first half so far of this game?
Well, I highlighted the running backs, and neither one of them has over 50 yards, so I was way off about that. Sioux Falls' passing game has proven very fruitful, and Vancouver's got way more first downs, but Sioux Falls is like they hit the big plays, and Vancouver's committed the turnovers. So Vancouver's got to clean up the turnovers, and they still have a great shot to win. But again, turnovers are key.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned the running backs don't have 50 yards. They don't have 50 yards combined. It's been very surprising for us both. When we were talking about this game earlier on in the week, that was the big thing that we both kept harping on was, wow, this is just going to be a dynamic running game. And, I was talking to Vancouver Legion head coach Andy Hamilton the other night and kind of hinted that maybe we wouldn't see quite as many runs. I don't know if you never can tell with Hamilton if he's just trying
he's probably
to
drinking again.
Fool you. If he was little tipsy, who knows with Andy Hamilton. But so far, not a lot of running yards, but Vancouver will get the ball back, and we'll see what they do here in the second half. Lopez takes it out of the end zone, returns it up past the 20, up to the 23-yard line. And that is where Tom Pepper will lead the offense back out onto the field. Not a great first half for Pepper, 19 of 25, 166 yards and 3 picks for the wily old veteran.
So if Hamilton did let the cat out of the bag, I wonder if he's regretting it. We'll have to see if Vancouver goes back to the ground game. Plenty of time to do that, and helps Tom Pepper stay safe.
Now Nakai takes the first handoff of the second half and gains 1 up the middle, wrapped up and tackled by Nick Fargo.
Don't know if you want to go right up the middle against those 3 dangerous linebackers.
Yeah, there's a lot of beef there in the middle, Matt. Jose Fuentes, Alex Parker, and Nick Fargo. They combine for almost 800 pounds of man.
2 of them were 90 for a reason.
Pepper swings it down to Nakai, getting him in some open space, and
oh my gosh,
gets his way up to the 29-yard line and will be tackled after a gain of 5.
Did you see Fargo flattened an O-lineman?
I did not see that.
That's not fair. What did he do to you?
Nick Fargo, 6'3", 256 pounds. 3rd down and 4 for Vancouver. Pepper trying to hit the corner, has a man wide open this time. Complete down the field to Heath McDaniel Jr. all the way up to the 48-yard line, and they will keep this drive alive.
Well, this time Sioux Falls wasn't playing press man, they were playing zone. So this time it worked out in their favor. See if it keeps heading that way.
Let's go.
First down and 10 as you look at McDaniel running back down to the bottom of the screen. Press coverage out of the Sparrows. Nakai takes the handoff, gets past the defensive line this time, but only can gain 2 before being brought down on the play at the 46.
Parker was there. These linebackers do a lot of work both in coverage and stopping the running game, and it's tough. The guy's had some opportunities, but hasn't been able to break a big one yet.
High formation. And he fumbled the ball, and it looks like Sioux Falls jumped on it, and indeed they did. A turnover for the Legion to the Sparrows.
Oh, he just got hammered by
Jose Fuentes, yeah. Wow.
Ball popped out, and Johnny on the spot recovered for the Sparrows. And oh man, well, there goes that first possession opportunity for Vancouver. Now the defense really has to buckle up.
An absolutely monster hit by Fuentes. 6'5" linebacker. He is a big boy. Tyree going right over the middle to get this one started, complete for a gain of 8. Hitting Gunnar Lewis. 2nd down and 2.
Yeah, it sets up a nice safe pass. Now you can run it to Hart or Wells, take your pick, and then if one doesn't get it, just run it to the other guy the next time. That's what I do.
3 receiver set. Colin Hart takes the handoff, gets up past the 40, inside the 30, finally tackled at the 23-yard line, wrapped up by Doug Day.
Whew. Doug Day saved that one. Hart took it off tackle, which I thought might have been a mistake, but, well, he made me look like a fool on that one. And Doug Day closed and made the tackle, but not after a huge gain for Colin Hart. That might be the longest run of the day by either running back.
44 yards now on the day for Colin Hart. Split backs in the backfield on 1st down. Ball is handed off, running straight up the middle. Nice, powerful run by Jalen Wells. A 3rd-round pick for the Sioux Falls Sparrows, Matt, and he really has added a 1-2 punch to this offense. You know, Colin Hart is number 3 in the league in total yards, but the Sioux Falls Sparrows as a whole, number 1 in the league in total rushing, thanks to Jalen Wells, the fullback, adding on nearly another 500 yards to the total. Hart takes the handoff this time up to the 14-yard line and be a 3rd down and 1. Hall of Famer, Matt, Julian Tyree. You know, we talked about how he's not having monster stats this season, but passing yards in his career, 34,274, and he's adding on more to that every game that he goes. All-time leader in passing yards. And Matt, it's great to be in the company of the quarterback that has the all-time touchdown record and one, Matt Wilson. Congratulations on accomplishing that feat in your last game.
That's it. The ladies only care about scoring.
Forget the yards, Matt says. It's all about the touchdowns.
Score.
Who needs yards? Yards don't get you points. Touchdowns get you points.
Exactly.
1st down and 10 from the Vancouver 13-yard line. Ball is handed off to Wells again. Only able to gain 2 that time. 2nd down and 8.
I would just keep the ball on the ground, honestly. You're up 20-6. You know, run the clock again. I say there's a lot of time left, but that 3rd quarter goes quick, and that 4th goes even quicker. And just don't turn the ball over. Take your 3 and see if Vancouver can score a touchdown.
Tyree to pass. Checks it down. That one is complete, but only able to gain 2 on the play. Backup tight end J.J. McGee.
Not the play I would have preferred, because it does everything you don't want a play to do. Stops the clock, gets you almost nothing in yardage, and now you gotta probably throw the ball here in a compressed field.
5 wide receivers for this 3rd down and 6 from the 9-yard line. Tyree to throws towards the back corner of the end zone. That one is caught for a touchdown.
Oh, he got in?
Gunnar Lewis in the end zone.
I gotta take a look at this. Ooh.
That left foot is down, Matt.
Let's see if we get a replay. Yep, there we go.
Hamilton, he says, I don't think so. Hamilton says he was 4 yards out, Matt.
Well, in the back of the end zone, it's 2 feet. I don't know about the side of the end zone. We're going to find out, but I don't know. Did he have possession as well?
Here we go in slow-mo. Lewis, one-handed
Oh,
catch.
I
I
don't.
think both feet were in.
I think he
think they
were
were
out.
out?
I think he was out. I don't think he had possession of the ball before.
Well, we'll see who's right. I think he was in. And I am,
Oh, boy.
well, at least the ref agrees with me. It doesn't mean whether we're right or wrong. It just it means that the ref also thought he was in. So the touchdown will stand. Another passing touchdown for Julian Tyree in this suddenly potent Sioux Falls passing attack.
Andy Hamilton has a hate-hate relationship with Ref 62. I'm sure he'll be sending him a nice birthday card soon.
Well, I don't know about a birthday card, but we'll see. I mean, he'll send him something, but I'm not sure it's going to be a birthday card. Extra point try forthcoming. Kick is up, and it is through. 27-6, the score here in the third quarter. 6 minutes to go in this one. Vancouver now desperately in need to mount a comeback. You are watching the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports and For the Fans. We'll see what they do after this. And welcome back to Liberty Park, Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Mark Lopez taking it from the 1 yard line for the Legion. Sidesteps the first tackler, gets up to the 25-yard line, where Tom Pepper will lead the offense back out onto the field. Pepper really having a difficult night tonight, Matt. 21-27, 198 yards. If you look at the completion percentage, he looks like he's doing okay at 78%. But it's the incompletions that you really got to focus on, because 3 of them now were picks. Trips formation on the field for the Legion. Pepper to throw, swing route to Nakai again, spins out of the first tackle, makes 2 men miss, makes a third one miss, and finally gets tackled at the 39-yard line. That's the sort of electric play we've been waiting for from Nakai.
You see those stats, they're kind of inverse of each other, right? Same amount of yards, but Pepper has 3 picks to Tyree's 3 touchdowns. Yeah, nice move by Nakai. Double spin, juke, and then gets kind of chucked. But you know what? I think he'll take that forward momentum, get as many yards as he can. Pepper's got to throw something big. He's got to just take the top off this defense. Just not in the corner route, please.
Or just make sure you don't underthrow it.
Yeah. That's
Pepper in the gun, making a change to the play at the line. 3 receivers on the field. Nakai to his right. Pepper going to the corner, and that one I think actually was an out route up to the 48-yard line to step out of bounds. And yes, it was an out route complete to Killian. Gain of 9.
It looked just congested as all heck to me, but luckily Pepper put it in the right spot. 2nd and 1. He has to give it. I'd love to see him give it to Nakai off tackle to see if he could, speed past some of these linebackers, not up the middle.
Pepper gets it to Nakai. Nakai will get the first down and more. Running forward for a gain of 8 up to the 44-yard line. Fresh set of downs in Sioux Falls territory.
Good gain for Nakai, but man, I don't know. I just feel like time's running out. Vancouver needs a big spark play here. They take the whole quarter to score.
They're down 3 touchdowns, Matt. I mean, we've seen some fast turnarounds before, but 3 touchdowns right now.
That's a lot. You got to score 7 by the end of this quarter. That's what I feel they have to do to have a shot to win this game.
4.5 to go, 44 yards to do it for you, Matt. Pepper looking deep, but he ends up deciding to go short to Nakai. I think you were getting a little nervous there, Matt.
I saw it. I saw the corner. And I was clenching my. I can't clench my fist. I was clenching what I could clench. I guess.
Yeah, there you go.
Pepper made the right play, dumped it down. Did not want to get another pick.
You can clench your teeth with the best of them, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
Play action. Pepper as he throws, and Down he goes. Down goes the ball as well. Cam Frosby once again applying the pressure.
Oh my! And Vancouver, you hate to see this, where they're so close to even field goal range. And I know 3 points is nothing, but at least it's points is points. And you'd hate to punt from this spot, from the Sioux Falls. If it was me, I would just say, "Hey, I'm down 27-6.
I'd go for it." Yeah, if they didn't get a yard here, but a sack could be devastating.
Yeah,
but
sack I might have to punt.
Pepper to throw. He's going to fire a quick pass.
No!
That's even more devastating as that one is picked off by Nick Fargo, his first interception on the season. And Matt, these linebackers are absolutely devastating this game.
Look at that short zone there by Fargo, and he's just licking his chops, waiting for that ball to come in, looking like a receiver or a tight end on that one.
Well, Sioux Falls has possession of the ball. We'll see what they do with it on the other side. You're watching the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports and For the Fans. Welcome back. Another turnover by the Sioux Falls defense, getting their offense the ball. Hart takes it off tackle for a loss of 1. But, Matt, this is quite the defensive performance so far.
Yep, turnovers. Just shoot your team in the foot. You can only absorb so many of those, body blows before the head falls. And I mean, what? I run on this defense all day long. Look how far Vancouver's playing off the line.
Only 3 on the line, 3 linebackers. All sorts of room for Hart as he gets up past the 40-yard line. Nice gain of 8 on second down. Will bring up a 3rd down and 3 from the 44-yard line.
Was Vancouver thinking they were going to run a flea flicker or something with that personnel?
Yeah,
I don't know.
That was interesting. It was a very strange formation. Both of these teams coming off a loss, Matt. Vancouver lost to Denver last week, 29-27. Sioux Falls lost to Jacksonville here in Sioux Falls, 35-17, looking to get a victory tonight. That's one way they can do it. Colin Hart up the left-hand side, and that one's good for another Sioux Falls first down. The running game here in Sioux Falls just dominant this season, and that's a big reason why.
Well, if there's a good time to get your running game going, it's in the second half when you got a big lead. Hart's just like, yep, give me the ball over and over and over again. And there he is. There's the Sioux Falls running game.
Yeah, look at that. Last season, they kind of got away from it a little bit, Matt, and it hurt them as they finished that season 5-7 after 2 7-5 outings in season 11 and 12. Now they're 7-4, looking to go 8-4, number 1 in the league in yards per game on the ground. Colin Hart tag teaming with his fullback, Jalen Wells, to be able to get that number 1 position in rushing yards per game. Dynamic duo.
Batman and Robin.
Bentley and Jones. Oh, there's a Mexico City reference there. Hart taking the handoff once again, almost sprung it loose for a big gain, but wrapped up and tackled at the 29-yard line. It'll be a 3rd down and 4 after this.
Good job by the Vancouver linebackers. I saw nothing but a big hole ahead and kind of grabbed Hart from behind and said, nope, not today. Now they got to run hard again. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I think I probably would, and they do indeed. Offset right-hand side, and that one's good for a first down, barely getting past the chains. Or excuse me, the sticks. That'll move the chains. 1st down and 10 now from the 25-yard line.
Just enough. And you know what? Games like this, just enough is just good enough.
Yeah. If not even more. I mean, they're well within Maxwell Falk's field goal range. We saw him kick a 52-yarder earlier in this same direction. Hart running it straight up the middle. And this will just continue to take more time off the clock. I'd imagine that we'll see one more handoff, and that will bring us to the end of the 3rd quarter. Holy smokes.
Actually, Mike, that was Robin. That was Jalen Wells.
Wells that time. Thanks,
Yeah,
Matt.
it's hard to keep track. They look the same sometimes. And now you can give it back to Batman and see if he can score here.
2nd down and 2. 30 seconds to go here in the 3rd quarter. And that one once again goes to Wells. He'll get about 1.9 yards on that one, Matt. It'll bring up 3rd down and inches, and I would imagine that we will not see another snap until the 4th quarter.
Well, I'm not sure about that. You know what? I would take this time, see what defense Vancouver comes out in. If I like it, I like this. I would run on this. I would snap the ball.
Well, then Tyree agreed with it. He took the snap, gave it to Hart. Hart got the 1st down, and that'll be how the 3rd quarter comes to an end. 27-6. Sioux Falls has the lead over the number 2 ranked Vancouver Legion. How will this 4th quarter finally wrap up? We'll find out after this. You're watching the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports, and for the fans, stay with us. Welcome back for the start of the 4th quarter. I'm Mike Daggs. Matt Wilson with me in the booth. Gerald Smith with us all season long on stats. Sioux Falls in possession of the ball, and they get away from the run game as they go to the air, and that one nearly picked off by Doug Day, trying to hit Al Dillapre Sr. and can't quite do it. 2nd down and 10. That would have been a humongous turnover for the Legion.
That's a head scratcher. Sioux Falls just pounding this ball. Both running backs have had a whole quarter break to rest. I just keep pounding the ball, wasting that clock, and kick the field goal if I have to, because 30-6 is pretty good.
Hart takes the handoff. Can't get anything on that one. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 10. Hart now with 87 yards on 20 carries.
That's definitely kind of more of a workhorse type effort. Nothing that's gonna, blow you away. But the Sioux Falls running game has definitely been a big difference in this 2nd half. And well, we're not gonna see it here.
Empty backfield for the Sparrows. Tyree to throw, looking for another passing touchdown. Doug Day tries to catch it again, and he's got those linebacker hands, Matt. Can't get it. 4th down, and that's going to give the Sparrows an opportunity to kick the field goal.
Stops the clock. They could have had 2 runs, run another minute off the clock, but they decided to pass, and can't agree there. But at least they didn't turn the ball over, and points is points.
29-yard field goal try for Maxwell Falk from the left hash to give the Sparrows a 30-6 lead, and it is up and through. 30-6 now here in Sioux Falls with 10:21 to go on the clock. Matt, can Vancouver come back from a 24-point deficit?
No.
Well, that's very matter of fact.
Well,
that's it. I'll just know.
Well, I mean, have they scored a touchdown?
Not yet. Never say never, though. We've seen some crazy things.
If they come back, I might have to, walk again. All right,
that would be a miracle, too.
I'm rooting for you, Andy. I want to walk again. Let's do this. Let's make the big comeback.
Kick taken 5 yards deep out of the end zone. Spinning up to the 20 is Mark Lopez. That is where they will start with the ball on offense. We'll see what happens on this drive. I don't know. I got to see at least one more drive out of the Legion before I'd be willing to say it's over, man.
I mean, they haven't scored a touchdown. They can kick 5 field goals and they'd still be losing, and that would take way too much time.
Well, Tom Pepper has thrown for 27 touchdowns on the season, and don't forget Sudo Nakai, more touchdowns than any other running back in the league, but it's tough and a whole different animal when you're going up against this Sioux Falls linebacking core. Jose Fuentes having that forced fumble earlier on, 4 tackles on the day as well.
I just haven't seen anything in the Vancouver playbook that leads me to believe they have a pass long enough to make, 3 or 4 big plays in a row. The one they do have is more of a turnover magnet.
Pepper throws and nearly picked off again. Terrell Davis trying to snag another one. Can't haul it in. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 9.
Well, Pepper going for pick number 5?
That would be 5, yeah, if he throws another one. Trying to hit Rich Pratchard, but led him too far, Matt. I mean, right into the hands of the defense.
Some inside sources have told me that those 4 picks have come from 4 different players. That's always good to get a defensive team effort there, everybody getting their hands on the ball.
So you get a look at Rich Pratchard. 900 yards on the season and 5 touchdowns for Pratchard. Not a lot of stats for him tonight. 4 receiver set on 3rd down. Pepper back to throw. Swings it down to Nakai. Nakai going nowhere as Nick Fargo wraps him up. That'll be a 4th down and 9. And Matt, do they go for it or are they just going to throw in the towel?
Wave the white flag of the Legion? I don't know. I guess they're going to punt.
Looks like they will indeed.
To me, it's like, what do you have to lose? If you're in the playoffs, you might as well go.
They are in the playoffs, but, they wanted that number 2 seed. The farthest they can fall is number 5, so they'll still be in the top half of the playoff picture. We can look at that once again after a short break. A.J. Levy brings it up to the 45-yard line. That is where the Sparrows will take over. We'll talk playoff scenarios after the break. You're watching the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports for the fans. Welcome back to Liberty Park here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, where the Sparrows have quite the lead over the Vancouver Legion. Looking to get a victory here tonight as they swing this pass out to the fullback, Jalen Wells, and that'll give them a 1st down up at the 41-yard line. So, Matt, assuming Sioux Falls can hold on to the win, which it looks like they very well may do, then everything comes down to the game after this one. What'll happen in this next game versus, Jacksonville versus Denver. So Sioux Falls holds on to this victory, and then Jacksonville wins. Sioux Falls will get all the way up to the number 3 spot and Vancouver will fall to number 4. Sioux Falls, if Denver wins, they will fall to number 4, and Vancouver will drop to number 5. So that's what will happen with those two teams. 2nd down and 7 after a 3-yard gain.
2nd and 7 from the Sunspots, 37-yard.
I formation from the Sparrows. 3 down linemen for the Legion. Wells with the handoff. That one's stuffed right at the line. Lee Adama, the first-round pick, with the tackle.
Man, he's had a quiet night. They have not been able to get on Tyree at all.
Yeah, we talked about him earlier. Captain Sack, he called him. 16.5 sacks on the season. That was 3rd most in the league, and we just really haven't seen anything out of Captain Sack tonight, Matt.
No, the ship has been silent. The engines are off.
22 tackles for a loss on the season as well. Tyree over the middle, and that one's incomplete. A rare drop for this Sioux Falls offense tonight. Al Dillapre Sr., the intended target, and that'll put an end to the drive. And Max Bolholt will come out for a rare Sioux Falls punt.
Well, if you're going to punt, I guess now is the time when you're up 30-6. Let's see if Moldholt can pin him back or if he can bounce into the end zone.
It will bounce down at the 2 and into the end zone for a touchback. Vancouver will start off back at their own 20-yard line. So we talked about Vancouver. We talked about Sioux Falls. There's other teams that care about the outcome of the game. So assuming Sioux Falls holds on to the win, Jacksonville, Queen City, and Chicago, you see Chicago there, all concerned about the outcome. So if Denver wins the game, then Chicago will move up 1 spot into the number 7 seed, and they will host Denver. If Jacksonville wins, then they will stay in number 8 where they are right now, and they will host the St. Louis Gladiators.
Well, it's just a ton of fun.
Well, I think you're only concerned about the next game for one very important reason.
Yeah.
You need the Jacksonville Kings to win so that the Mexico City Aztecs can hang on to that number 10 spot.
Yes. Living on a prayer.
Pepper going deep over the middle. That one picked off yet again. My goodness, 5 picks. And that is Jose Fuentes. The linebackers are just owning this game.
What is going on? SFL investigation for stick 'em on the gloves. I don't think I've seen linebackers, 2 linebackers with 2 picks. That's very rare.
Absolutely. Fuentes with the pick. That's his first on the season as well. And Alex Parker, the 3rd linebacker in that dynamic trio, he doesn't have any picks tonight, but he does have 1 on the season. So now all 3 of these linebackers have an interception for the Sioux Falls defense throughout the course of season 14. Colin Hart running off tackle to the left. So let's look at the top half of the playoff picture once again. The Jacksonville Kings sitting at number 6. With Sioux Falls winning the game, if Jacksonville can win, they will move up a spot to number 5. They will head on the road to Vancouver in a rematch from earlier in this season, the Jacksonville Kings at Vancouver. If they lose, then they will fall down to number 8. They will play host, but it will be a wild card matchup against the St. Louis Gladiators. Queen City, I don't think we've really talked about what will happen to them yet. If Sioux Falls can hold on to the win and then Denver wins, then Queen City will go to the number 6 spot. They will hit the road and head to Baltimore, take on the Vultures.
Ugh.
If Jacksonville wins, Matt's dream right there. Matt's been yelling "Go Kings" every commercial break. It's getting obnoxious.
No, they couldn't hear. I didn't do that.
Oh, deep corner
no,
route
not
once again into the end zone. This one is getting out of hand. Gunnar Lewis, touchdown Sparrows.
And the Dirty Bird dance for a second time. Everyone's just having Dirty Sparrow. They do bathe themselves every once in a while, and that's just running by a DB. Man, I don't know what that coverage is, but it's not good. And, Vancouver's got to be confused. You know,
Just I don't think they were
they've lost 3 in a row, and if they don't come back, heading into the playoffs, it's not where you want to be going into the the postseason.
Yeah, absolutely. 36-6 the score, pending a extra point to bring it up to 37. Low snap, nearly blocked, but it is up and through. 37-6. 6 minutes, 38 seconds to go here in the ball game. You are watching the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports and for the fans. Welcome back, Sioux Falls Sparrows. You know, I don't know if you can really call it an upset, Matt. As you know, I mean, they were 7-4 coming into the game compared to Vancouver's 8-3. Two very similar teams, similar styles. They have the top 2 running backs in the league as far as yards and yards per carry go. But the defense, I guess, is built a little different here in Sioux Falls, as those linebackers have absolutely disrupted this entire game for the Legion.
If you look at the defensive makeup, Vancouver has an extra safety while Sioux Falls has an extra linebacker. Man, those linebackers have been everywhere. I mean, stopping the run, picking the ball off. So that's been the main difference.
Yeah, they're doing it all.
Oh!
Corner route to Pratchard. He's able to climb the ladder and get that one. Finally able to haul in his 3rd pass of the night up to the 34-yard line.
And not quite yet, but I imagine soon those backups will be checking in, trying to give Tom Pepper a touchdown because he needs one bad.
Tom Pepper was 24 of 38, 265 yards with a touchdown last week. He did have 3 picks in that game as well, hitting Pratchard on another jumping corner route up to the 48-yard line. Gain of 14 will give them another first down.
Well, I'll run until they stop it, I guess. And this time, they're playing off Pratchard, probably trying to avoid the big play. You know, it's a decent gain, but it's not, you know, a huge, you know, bomb for a touchdown. So I think Sioux Falls says, yeah, you can have that. We're up 37-6, even if you score a touchdown, and take a minute and a half to do it. We don't really care.
Pepper to throw, finds Pratchard over the middle. This time all the way up to the 32-yard line, another gain of 14.
Well, Pratchard's all of a sudden come alive. They could have used this a little earlier in the game, but again, Sioux Falls probably just playing soft zone, not letting him just stroll into the end zone, not bringing much heat.
Split backs in the backfield. Mackay takes a handoff. Can't go anywhere. Loses 1 on the play. Back to the 33-yard line. 5 minutes to go in the ball game.
Yeah, there's the defensive end. One of their defensive ends getting involved. Mackay has just been missing. He just hasn't made a big play. Now 1.
Pseudo Nakai only 20 yards on the ground tonight, Matt. A astonishing stat. The 6th interception is thrown. Tom Pepper just having an absolutely awful night in the passing game. Jay Ringgold with the pick, number 3 on the season.
Oh, look, it's the corner route.
You really are hating on that corner route.
Oh, my God. I mean, you got to throw it all out there, but you don't want to throw it. What can you do? I mean, I guess that's the deepest play they have, and it's just Sioux Falls has killed it. It's dead.
It is indeed. As the Sioux Falls offense takes back over control of the football from their own 13-yard line. Colin Hart still in the game, still running. Doug Day with the tackle. 7-yard gain up to the 19-yard line.
They're lucky Hart doesn't have Nakai's speed, or he might have been gone. Blocking was setting up perfectly, but gets 7 instead. It's fine. Keeps the clock moving.
Ball at the 20-yard line.
You know, Matt, one of the stats that we really didn't talk about much, and you know, it's almost kind of obvious at this stage of the game. The defense for both of these teams, the rushing yards allowed per game, both of these teams are in the top 5. Vancouver's number 4 and Sioux Falls is number 5. Sioux Falls, you know, obviously getting the edge here tonight. And as far as allowed rushing touchdowns go, Vancouver Legion number 1 in the league. They've only allowed 4 rushing touchdowns all season long, but the passing attack, somewhat of a different story. The Legion have allowed they are second from last in passing yards allowed per game. They've allowed on average over 300 yards through the air and 26 touchdowns total through the air on the season coming into the night. That's 18th in the league out of 20.
We're seeing that weakness displayed in full effect in this game. I mean, Tyree's got 4 passing touchdowns, I think.
Indeed, he does. Yeah, Julian Tyree, 15 to 20, 4 touchdowns. He does have a couple of picks of his own, but 15 to 20, 4 touchdowns, 271 yards. I mean, that's player of the game material right there. Although Gunnar Lewis might be in the running even more so, Matt. He's got 5 catches. 3 of those have gone to the house. 135 yards for Gunnar Lewis.
Either way, you'll take that connection all day long, and looking at that into the playoffs is definitely something for Sioux Falls to kind of smile at. They got that in their back pocket besides the run game. If it gets a little gummed up like it did tonight, it was kind of slow and steady and efficient, but not spectacular.
And taking a look at the twitch.tv/FTF next chat, Aaron Lee 20 says, so you're saying don't throw corner routes, Matt Wilson, but I don't think that's, you're not saying don't throw corner routes in general. Just not today. Not against this defense.
Yeah, they're playing, a lot of times they're playing press man, and they're also not going to the slot receiver or the middle receiver corner route. It just doesn't. Whatever Sioux Falls is dialed up, they've seen that play and they were ready for it. So we'll see if Vancouver tries something a little different here.
Per the stat man, Gerald Smith, the backups are in for the Sioux Falls Sparrows. As you see Terrell Davis on the sideline kind of stopping Brett Killian. He says, hey, I'm trying to rest over here.
He's just like, good sportsmanship. He didn't want him to run to the bench.
Yeah, hey, watch out. There's a bench here. AJ Levy standing to his side. First down and 10 from the Sioux Falls 44-yard line. 2 minutes, 30 seconds to go in this one. Pepper back to throw, looking deep over the middle, and that one is tipped and nearly picked off. Jay Ringgold still out there, Matt.
Now, Ringgold in the backup saying, we're not done yet. Look at him just perusing the field. Look at that. Look at the ball all the way, and it almost makes the one hit. So, just so many picks. And, if you're anybody playing the Sioux Falls Sparrows, you've got to be intimidated by this defense. Not a lot of pressure per se on the quarterback, but man, these linebackers don't allow big runs, and they've got some hands.
Sioux Falls was looking at quite the potential swing in playoff seeding coming into tonight's game, Matt. They could have gone as high as number 3 and as low as number 8 out of 10. So there's 10 teams that make it into the postseason in the Simulation Football League, and they could have gone as high as 3, down as low as 8. With this victory that it looks like they are sure to get at this point, they will be either number 3 or number 4. They will get a home playoff game against either the Charleston Predators or a rematch next week. Well, it actually won't be next week. The rematch in their next game against this Vancouver Legion team. So it'll be interesting to see what sort of changes would be made if you do indeed get that rematch.
I got one change in mind.
delete the corner out as Jay Ringgold bats that one away. And Matt, before I forget, because I would be I would, well, quite frankly, I'd be yelled at if I didn't, because I've gotten yelled at several games in a row now. Shout out to my youngest son, Jeffrey Daggs, Jeffrey D44 in the chat, joining us and watching the ball game. Jeffrey, go to bed. It's 9 o'clock.
There's no school. Come on.
Jeffrey, stay up. You're fine. Matt says so. Pepper back to throw, firing towards the end zone. That one is caught and into the end zone. Brett Killian, touchdown, Vancouver. Matt, they finally get one in the end zone.
Well, backups. This is a good throw. I can say it. It's hard to get excited about a touchdown with the backups are in, but it does break the touchdownless streak.
2-minute warning has hit, but we will wait for the extra point and see if that can be converted for taking a short break and then wrapping up this game here in Sioux Falls, getting ready for the game coming up next, which also has massive playoff implications. So stay tuned. Denver heads to Jacksonville to take on the Kings. So many different things that can happen based on the result of that game. So don't go anywhere. Still a lot more football left here tonight on 11 Sports and for the fans. We'll be back after this. Stay with us. And welcome back. We are in Liberty Park in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Sioux Falls recovered the onside kick that took place during our break. So they have possession of the ball. Minute 55 to go in the ball game. Offside eye formation for the Sparrows. Quarterback Willie Beeman out on the field now, handing that ball off, and Vancouver will burn their second timeout. Oddly enough, Matt, Willie Beeman handed it off to Colin Hart.
It wasn't Freddie Fox?
It was not the Fox.
But we need to find out. What does the Fox say?
Well, the Fox says, I'm still on the pine. I'm not quite sure why, but
I think he might start having some problems with that. Foxes can be vicious creatures if they're not, listened to.
Well, Freddie Fox is going to have to wait. Colin Hart, Jalen Wells still out onto the field with Willie Beeman. Well, there's Freddie Fox. Freddie Fox ran off to the sideline. Wells with the handoff up the middle, but he did a great job of running towards the sideline. So
Parker Lewis can't win. Or Parker Lewis can't lose, and Freddie Fox can't win. He can't get the ball in garbage time.
Coming up next at 9:30 Eastern Time, we still have another ball game to be played here in the regular season, the final game of the regular season. The Denver Night Wings head to Jacksonville, Florida to take on the Kings. Cameron Irvine and Charles Doherty will be on the call. That'll close out the regular season for us. Sioux Falls will improve to 8-4 on the season. Vancouver will fall to 8-4 after dropping their last 3 in a row. And this is the final night of regular season action, but the Simulation Football League will return this weekend. The wild card starts on Saturday, April 11th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. The only game we know for sure right now will be St. Louis at somebody.
Thanks for the info.
That's all I can tell you at the moment. St. Louis will be playing in the wild card. Perhaps Mexico City, perhaps Denver.
Boo.
Now stop it, man. You're in the booth. While you're in the booth, you need to be impartial.
I'm impartial to the game currently going on.
This is true.
I will always be impartial to the game going on. Outside that, you know what? You ever see those any of those other broadcasters that used to play for other teams? They're a little biased and stuff.
Yeah. Not you, though.
Not me. Call it straight down the floor.
The consummate professional.
Uh-oh.
Pepper down the left sideline. That one complete. Matt's still terrified of the corner route. Minute to go in this ball game.
Oh, they are playing press man, so, I mean, it's the backup. But anything's possible.
Short pass complete up to the 42-yard line. First down and 10, less than a minute to go. So I suppose we also know, Matt, that Chicago will be in the wild card. They will either be number 7 or number 8, depending on the outcome of the next game. If Denver wins, Chicago will be at the number 7 seed. They will play host to Denver. And if Jacksonville wins, then they will fall to the number 8 seed, and then they will host those St. Louis Gladiators. So either way, we know that Chicago is getting a home playoff game in the wild card. We know that St. Louis will play either Chicago or somebody else. So yeah, that's all I know.
They're gonna play the San Antonio Vaqueros.
Well, I don't think that's gonna happen. There's another corner out. That one is also complete.
You said anybody. I mean, how about the Minneapolis Maulers or the?
I think the Maulers are gone, man. But if they did, I feel sorry for them, since the Maulers, they were known to put up over 70 points a game. That's ridiculous. What was that back in season 4 and 5 time frame?
I think 4.
Check the video archives, folks, if you want to see some high-scoring games back in seasons past. So
yeah, I heard Cam was broadcasting on like a tiny radio at the time. It sounded like, you know.
No, why do you got to throw shade?
When he got really excited,
microphone.
When he got really excited, he'd like fade out for a second. He'd blow up the light.
He'd blow up the airway.
The SFL has come a long way, folks.
Storms the end zone. That one incomplete to Killian. Caught it on the paint. 3rd down and goal from the 6. 24 seconds to go in the ball game.
It's fun reminiscing about old SFL time. Come on.
I don't know if it's fun for the people who are getting picked on though.
Cam can take it. He's a big boy. I might be fired next week, so if you're looking for a color commentary job, please contact Mike.
Pepper pump fake to the top. Rich Pratchard with the catch. 4th down and goal from the 3-yard line.
Just go for it.
Bounds. He may as well. Yeah, may as well. Never say die, Matt. If they can get in, it'll be 37-20.
Did the Sioux Falls player really need to point at the scoreboard?
He's being just as mean as you are.
You don't want to rile up the Legion in case you got to play him again next week.
Crowd on their feet for this 4th down try. Pepper to throw over the middle, and that one is dropped in the end zone. Rick Pratchard drops the ball. It'll be a turnover on downs at the 3-yard line.
That's been the Vancouver game in a nutshell. A game of follies. Look at this. That ball was overthrown quite a bit by Pepper, but Pratchard's got to just lay out for his quarterback here and make the play. Boing, right off the hands. Well, they can't.
No, they'll have to run this. Yeah, they'll have to run this one out.
Maybe a safety and an onside kick. Come on, I can dream.
I think it's not going to happen, Matt. But I guess you never know. That one's run up the middle by that's right, Matt. Freddie Fox.
Hooray, Freddie!
The Fox says I gained a yard, and that'll be Freddie Fox's only touch of the night, Matt. Is that brings us to the end of the ball game. Your final score: Vancouver 13, Sioux Falls 37. Congratulations to the Sioux Falls Sparrows finishing 8-4 on the season, and congratulations to Vancouver for doing the same. Sioux Falls will either end up in the number 3 or number 4 seed, and Vancouver will end up in either the number 4 or number 5 seed, depending on what happens in this next game. If Denver wins the game against the Kings, we will see a rematch of Sioux Falls Vancouver, and Matt will be crying in his soup. Matt, your final thoughts on this game, though?
Like turnovers. Not only did we have the fumbles, or the one fumble, we had the 5 picks? Was it 6? 6 picks.
6 picks.
You can't win a game throwing 6 picks. I don't care who you are. So Vancouver has to clean that up for next week, whoever they play, whatever that crazy scenario is. Kind of get their mojo back. Watch some old game film. What were they doing for season that was, more productive for them? Because whatever they're doing now offensively is just not getting the job done. They could not score a touchdown on the Sioux Falls starting defense. So
Agreed.
Sioux Falls we're looking great. We're pumped. We're going to be a great seed. Got a good chance to go deep in the playoffs. And I don't think anybody wants to play Sioux Falls right now. So.
Yeah, agreed. Well, they're going to be one of the top 5 teams in the league in seeding no matter what happens. Vancouver will have to prepare to either take on the Jacksonville Kings or a rematch against the Sioux Falls Sparrows. Sioux Falls, for their next game, they will either be playing host to the Charleston Predators or, like I said, there will be this rematch against Vancouver. So Baltimore and Charleston fans now staring at the screen, waiting for this next game to start. If Jacksonville can come away with the victory, Matt Wilson will be a happy camper, and Baltimore will secure the number 2 seed in the playoffs. If Denver wins, Charleston secures that number 2 seed. For Jacksonville, if they win, they will be number 5. They will hit the road to Vancouver. If they lose, they fall all the way to number 8 and will hold.
They don't want to do that.
They don't want to do that. Come on, Kings, you got this. They don't want to host the St. Louis Gladiators because, Matt, the St. Louis Gladiators, don't look now. The St. Louis Gladiators are on a winning streak, and they're on absolute fire. Best record in franchise history at 6-6. Gunnar Lewis is indeed our player of the game, like we thought he might be, Matt. 134 yards on 5 catches with 3 touchdowns. Incredible. Stay tuned for the next game. This game has been a presentation of the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports. And for the fans, for Matt Wilson, Gerald Smith, our commissioner and producer, Cameron Irvine, and everyone here at the Simulation Football League, I am Mike Daggs saying thank you for joining us, and good night, everyone.